Good morning. It's Bree Sickle of Straighten Her Crown Project, and we're already having such an amazing time and laughing in here. We have an amazing guest today, one of my favorite people. And this is where the host becomes the guest, or the interviewer becomes the interviewee, and you don't want to miss it. So we'll see you in just a sec. All right, guys, we're on. Hi. Look who it is. It's Ray. Ralene Challinor.
Nice job. Cheers.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well done.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
There's just so much. This amazing woman has an incredible story. She is really just has a huge heart.
You pause.
A huge heart. I know, I had to think of the right word. You know what? I try to use big words like philanthropy.
Ooh.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna mess that up. So
let's go with huge heart.
Huge heart.
Yes.
And you love kids.
I do.
And
most of them.
And but you don't always have to like them, but you do love them.
I do love them.
Yes.
Every child deserves a home. I do believe in that.
Yes. So, and you have had shows in the past regarding the foster care and the adoption.
Yes.
It was world, I guess. I would say industry, but it's not an industry. See, I'm on fire.
We're on fire.
So let's just break it down. Let's get down to it.
Let's do it, sister. What do you want to know? Open book.
Let's just go back to what got you involved in the foster care adoption.
Okay, in the foster care world. All right. So as quickly as I can, we're talking probably, let me think now, our first foster kiddo placements, they were a sibling group, are now 15. So we're going 15, 16 years ago. My husband was working as a pastor, and we overheard this little family talking about helping out a family in the inner city of Milwaukee. We lived in Wisconsin at the time.
Okay.
And
Go Green Bay.
Go Packers. Something in my heart just like leapt, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like something we could do. We had this 3-bedroom ranch, and it was just the two of us, and we'd been married like 15 years, I think, at the time. And so I inquired and ended up helping out this sweet single mom down in the inner city of Milwaukee with her newborn baby boy. And she would give him to us on like a Thursday, and we would love on him and give her a little bit of a break. And then we would take him back to her on a Sunday. And so we did that for about 4 months, and eventually she trusted us with her other 2 children. But through a horrible situation, the children were going to be placed in foster care. I had no idea what foster care was. I was ignorant of that. Nobody I knew was fostering or had adopted. It just wasn't on my radar. So when the little guy, who was now at that time about 5 months, was going to end up in foster care, they came to us and they said, you already have a relationship. Would you be willing to be his foster parents? And of course we were like, yes, sign us up. What do we do? So that's kind of how our foster world opened up, was through this little family. We ended up being really good friends with the mom and dad. And we had the littlest guy for about 1.5 years, and then his brother and sister joined our family. And we had all 3 of them for a total of a little over 2 years. And then an aunt showed up and said, I would like to take them. And so she took all 3 of them, which was very, very hard. Mom and dad actually asked if we would adopt them, but the aunt was not excited about that. So, but we do still get to be in touch with them, and they're doing amazing. But through that family, we ended up fostering for a little over 10 years and had 13 kiddos in our home and in our heart. And we just became super passionate about advocating for them, and when they deserved it, for the bio parents, we would advocate for them or a family member. Never planned on adopting. That was not part of my plan.
Mhm.
Selfishly, I love my husband. We are the best of friends, and we love hanging out together. We love going on dates. We loved vacationing, just the two of us.
And you guys have been like 30 years?
30 years.
Oh,
It
good for
feels like
you.
10.
I love that.
Yeah, so fun. He's an amazing man. And so, anyway, but Lennox came along. Isn't that an awesome name?
I love that.
His tummy mommy named him. That's a great name. And he came along and he stayed. We ended up adopting him. And then after him, Sophia. So we have Lennox and Sophia now.
And how old are they?
12 and 11.
Oh.
I know. It's a cruel trick though, because I mean, at my age, my kids should be in college. Going through menopause and raising elementary school kids, it's wrong. It's wrong to have hot flashes and have a 12-year-old. It's not right.
Yeah, well, you could have done it the way I did it. And, had 2 kids by the time I was 22.
Hey,
be a
girl,
grandparent
help 'em
at
out.
46.
But see, how cute are you as a grandma? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know it. You're sassy and classy.
That's amazing, though. That is so amazing. But then you expanded and did some work into the inner city of Milwaukee.
We did through fostering, through actually that first little sibling group. We would go into the hood, their words, not mine, but I'm allowed to call it that. And we'd go into the hood and we'd visit with mom and dad, and then we'd get to know their extended family and their friends. And through doing that, we just really felt deeply that that all the kind of the I don't know, just the neighborliness. No, that's a word. I'm coining that phrase. The neighborliness had kind of just gone out of the inner city of Milwaukee anyway. It just felt like angry and everybody was just I don't know, angry and kind of chaos. And so we decided, you know what, let's just ask the powers that be at the time, my husband was working at a church, if they would go big and go crazy with us and let us move into the inner city and just be neighbors, like with the inner city people, and let us just, I don't know, love on people. And they were like, yeah, sure, do it. We're behind you. So, and they were like, we don't know what that's going to look like. And we said, neither do we, but it'll be fun. And so we did. We sold our suburban place and we moved down into the inner city and had this gorgeous 7-bedroom Victorian home that was built in like the late 1700s, 1800s. Oh, it was phenomenal. The architectural, just gorgeous. The columns,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so we moved into this big house and it was just my happy place. We moved into there. We started like a Saturday night ministry to just our neighborhood kids. We didn't know who was going to come, but it ended up being tons of kids. And sometimes we'd have like 120 kids. Sometimes we'd have like 5.
Right.
Just depended on what was going on. And we would feed everybody, and churches from the suburbs would bring in food on like a rotor, and we were blessed, always filled bellies, and we had like a little food pantry, and we'd sometimes let kids, we had a washer and a dryer, and kids would wash clothes, and we would, after we fed everyone, then some would stay, some would leave, and we didn't care. And we'd do like a little story time, Bible story type of deal, and puppets. We'd mix it up. We had a cash cart so they could earn like kid cash, and then, they could cash it in for toys and prizes, and we'd have bands and whatever. So we did that for 7 years, and it was phenomenal. We also started a housing project called Covering of Love, and we would buy up old drug houses, and my honey would rehab them, and then we ended up putting in refugees. So families that couldn't get bank loans, we would be the bank, and then after 5 years, they pay rent for 5 years, we would turn the house over to them.
Oh my gosh.
It was a blast. So fun.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then kept fostering, and we'd have other people stay with us. We had a couple other boys that were.
All right, well, Sam Montier was pretty adamant that you tell this story. Is it appropriate to tell this story? Okay, so you really...
Sam Martin likes my gangster stories. Yeah, I don't know which one he wants to hear, but we had lots of exciting things.
Something about making a drug lord stand down.
Oh, okay. So when we had this kind of little punk wannabe gangster in our neighborhood, his name was Keon, and he wanted to come in on a Saturday night to our little gathering. We had no problem with that, but of course, you have rules. No guns, no weapons, although they were pretty handy with their fists too, and you can't ask them to leave those at the door. He had it in for one of my other boys who I love dearly with all my heart, and he just had come determined that night that he was gonna cause trouble, and we were down in the basement, and I was leading that night, and my hubby was upstairs with the adults, and I was with the kids, and Keon came down, and I was still pretty fresh with the signals, and they were pretty good. If they were going to go after each other, they would give just a little head jerk, or there were different signals they would give, and I missed the signals that night. And so we're having technical difficulties. Bear with us. Nope, we've been waved off. We're good. So anyway, he decided he was going to go after this one young man, and I decided not tonight, not on my watch. So I stepped in between, and Keon was about 14, 15 at the time, about 6'3", beautiful young man, and just huge. And I just stood in between them and told the other kid to get up the stairs, and I grabbed his arm, put it up behind his back, and slammed him up against the wall and held his neck there. And I just was calm, and I just gently said, Keon, this is not going to happen tonight. And I yelled for my assistant, would you go get my husband, please? And I turned to look, and my husband walks down the stairs. He just starts shaking his head. I'm like, what is she up to now?
You are so feisty.
Well, when adrenaline kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really know what you're doing. And so after we escorted him out the building, then, of course, I started crying like a big baby and shaking and what in the world, because he knew where we lived. He'd been to our home, and of course knew what we were doing in that building. And I kind of watched my back for a while after that, because he definitely was not excited about us being in the neighborhood and all those things. He had some of our little guys running drugs for him, and that sort of thing. And we were putting an end to that. So yeah, really fun stories. Great. Someday they'll make a great book.
So during this time, though, you had a radio show?
So no, that I was just raising the babies and running the Saturday night thing with my hubs, and then we had the housing thing. And so at the end of 7 years, we did have an unfortunate event. We had a local wannabe gangster, another one, that decided he was going to execute one of our neighbor boys. So he shot him in the back 5 times on our street there in front of our house. And so then we decided it was time to pack up. We had done 7 years, and we had then adopted the 2 kiddos. And we decided, well, if we were not going to do what we love, and why stay in Wisconsin? So that's when we made the move to Prescott Valley, actually, is where we live. And that was about 6 years ago. And when we moved here, we were just really, I think we had some post-traumatic stuff going on just because of the high trauma. We lived in the neighborhood with lots of gun violence and different things. And so we just needed some time for our soul to kind of rest.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and I just subbed in the school district for a little while. And then a job opportunity opened up with Christian Family Care. And so I became their recruiter and community development person, and just started building relationships within the community. And so along with that, this radio show opportunity just kind of fell in my lap, really. I mean, it was divine. It really was. Sean Hawley over at Great Circle Media, through my brother-in-law, actually, hooked us up. And I've always dreamt of being a DJ. Not necessarily.
I don't know why I can
host,
totally see this, but yeah.
But a DJ, I would love that. Yes, Ray in the morning. And so it just seemed like a really good fit with my foster care and adoption piece, recruitment, and just getting the word out to the public of the need for homes. Excuse me. And so started this little radio show called Real Talk because I really wanted it to be real. And for the most part, we try. Some people obviously can't tell all of their story because of legal things, but I think if you're going to get into foster care, you really need to know what you're getting into. Even if you think you're going to get these cute little babies and you're going to love on them, and with the potential of maybe adopting, it really doesn't always work out that way. So I started the radio show to really kind of tell the real truth, that it's hard and it's ugly, and the foster parents really have like zero rights. You just deny yourself every day for a stranger's child, and people need to know that. So started that. That was 2 years ago. Got like maybe 90 episodes under my belt. So it's been fun, super fun. And then just recently started another podcast YouTube show with a co-host, Jeremy Brinkerhoff. And that's on YouTube and Spotify and all the things. And we record that at the porch in Prescott. And that's fun too.
And that one is kind of based on just the community.
Yeah, just highlighting
yes.
people. So far, it's kind of been a lot of business owners, and that's not really where our heartbeat is. But it's kind of happened that way because the business owners of Prescott are the people of Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
They're just people like you. You're homegrown, right? I mean, you're Arizonan, moved away, came back,
yes.
raising your kiddos here.
Local
business owner.
I raised my kids in Flagstaff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then and they're in Washington State here, so
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that because
yes.
I'm from Washington too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happened that we've had a lot of business owners and that sort of thing on, which is totally fine because they're people that love Prescott, and that's what we want to highlight.
Well, yeah, and everybody has a story, a different story, and what led up to their business and why they chose that business.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, yours is inspiring. And just, and San Martin, he's over here doing his thing, but just starting, this venue and the people of Prescott, they're special people.
Absolutely.
They really are. And you're right, the stories are amazing.
So what is your favorite part about being in Prescott now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've lived different places.
Yes, we've traveled. We've done all kinds. We took short-term mission trips of college kids to Papua New Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in England and Canada. We've gotten to do just fabulous things. But Prescott is just a really special place. To describe it is after being like in the heart of a city, a big city like Milwaukee, and then to come here was culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
It really was, especially moving into Granville, which is like kind of tract homes. And then
Mm-hmm.
from being in this gorgeous old Victorian to this house that looks like everybody else's was really hard to get used to. And I wasn't really sure. But oh my gosh, once you start getting to know the people,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Your
You're
neighbors,
sold.
yes.
I mean, I know a lot of people, when my sister and brother-in-law come to visit from California, to drive 25 miles an hour for them, I mean, you can literally see their minds are going nuts.
Yes.
It's with everything within them. They're like, just let me go 35, just let me go 40. And when you finally embrace the 25 miles an hour,
Yes.
you're like, this is home. You put your window down,
Mm-hmm.
you turn your music up a little. You've got nowhere. Everywhere takes 10 minutes. Where do you got to be in a hurry?
Right.
Nowhere. Slow the heck down. Slow your roll. Enjoy. And I mean, that's what I love. I love that people want to talk in line at Walmart, at the bank. They know my name. Just going into your store. I mean, you have a franchise, and typically you would not think, I'm going to go into franchise, and I'm going to know the owner. I mean, who does that? And this is the type of place that we live in.
Absolutely. It's a small business,
Yeah.
we're all individually owned and operated.
Yes.
Yeah. So Absolutely. I have a question. Have you ever been to Italy? Okay.
It's on my list.
So my brother, he was in the Navy, lived in Italy for a little bit, and he would come and he'd tell us about the crazy drivers.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, like, there's
Well, Formula One. I'm telling you, there's a reason that
yes. So
They're good
for our
drivers.
honeymoon, we were in Rome and Sicily. I tell you, my husband's from California. He was like in his element.
Downshift, round
Oh
the
my
corner. Yes.
And there's a reason they all drive little tiny cars.
Yes. The Fiat
Yeah.
Box.
There's no, like, at a light, there's a light, but everybody kind of basket weaves around each other.
Yes.
I was stressed.
England was very similar. Little story, and it actually still pisses me off a little bit. I went to get my license in England. I was going to do it the right way, right? So I take lessons, do the whole thing. I'm going to take my test. Instructor is there. Now, granted, right? Other side, steering wheel. I'm shifting now with my left. And they've got the roundabouts, which we now have. But we're taught to drive cautiously, right? Just wait for the gap and so that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting and there's like a 3-second gap and then I go. And he's like, failed. What did I do? We don't drive that way over here. You're driving too American is what he told me. He said, we are aggressive. You should have gone. 3-second gap is too long to leave. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Yeah.
You just merge.
You just want my
It doesn't
money.
matter if there's a car there or not. You go.
Yeah, he was like, you've got to just be aggressive. Go. And that's how my husband still drives my van. He's British, so he still drives my poor little town and country like it's a teeny little mini and very aggressive. But
Sipping around.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I think this was awesome.
Me too. It was very fun to be with you.
Do you want to leave us with a favorite quote or scripture or?
Oh man. So the thing that got me through foster parenting was a quote, and it still gets me through, was a quote by Dr. Seuss. So not very spiritual.
I know, but
I'm the worst pastor's wife ever. I even said the P word, didn't I? Are you going to edit that? Is don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
No.
And that really helped me because when you're loving on babies or kiddos or anyone in your life, that friendship that maybe for whatever reason you're moving away or it had to end, to really just appreciate and smile that you had the opportunity to even love that person, whoever it is, and don't cry because it's over. Obviously crying is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the good Dr. Seuss meant, but it really did kind of help me to have perspective.
Right.
So maybe somebody needs to hear that today.
What is it? It's better to have loved than to have never loved at all. It's the same concept.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because it can be hurtful, but
Very, especially
you just be
can be-
grateful for the opportunity you have.
Yeah, that you changed a life, that you touched a life. Yeah.
That's so amazing. You're just an amazing person.
Oh,
Just a
thank
great-
you. You can keep saying that. I'll just sit here and listen.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back the new year. I hope you all have a wonderful, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday, whatever it is that you celebrate and embrace. We hope that you have beautiful memories. Yeah. All right, we will see you all next time with another beautiful queen.